Yeah.
I wanna talk about or get the deets, I guess, on the guy who beat his wife apparently on stream.
Well,
I don't know anything about this, but generally speaking, we usually side with the lady in most of these situations. But I think around here we also have this thing where it's not always the guy's fault. Sometimes you're being attacked by another human being, and something has to be done.
Like
So
when
I look,
Rihanna, little known fact, spilled her coffee on Chris Brown's nice new floor mats in his car.
that's true.
You don't hear about that. I mean,
were
sure, she
Burberry.
dropped the coffee as she was being beaten.
Do you know?
but-
Do you know how much Burberry floor mats cost?
so I
And that
found
was an iced mocha venti. That was a $7 coffee on its own.
I found the 4.5 minute video. Do you guys want to watch a 4.5 minute
Yeah,
video?
I absolutely do. I want to know what's up with this. I want to
All
see
right,
what.
well then we're
what's
gonna
happening.
do our proper due
Oh,
diligence
man.
in this thing.
Click the
Mr.
one
Death
that,
Moth. Which streamer, Mr. Dead Moth, goes ballistic on stream? He looks a little bit like Carrot Top, eh?
He does.
A little bit, yeah.
Jesus Christ! I'll be out. Yes, I'll be out soon. Stop.
He's already dodging her attacks.
I'll be out soon. Grace, stop. Stop. I'm serious.
She's counting like he's a child.
Stop, please. I'll be out soon.
I don't like that shit. Is this his wife?
Stop.
Yep.
Is this guy a big streamer?
Please. I'll be out soon.
No, very, very, very small.
Okay.
He's much more well known now than he was last
I'll be
week.
out soon. Grace.
All
I'll be
publicity is
out
good
soon.
publicity.
That's true. I've heard that.
Fuck off. Honestly.
The audio on this video is really quiet. I have it on all the way up.
Shit back at you. See how you like it.
So if basically she's telling him to stop. I think she might be reaching to turn things off, and she's throwing things at him, but little things, and the bigger thing was cardboard.
Stop. Stop, please. I'll be out soon. Just stop. All I ask is for some time by myself. Just go away. No one, just go away. Leave me alone. I'll be out soon. How many times do I have to tell you? How many times do I have to tell you, Greg? I'll be out soon. Stop. Wait.
Did I just hear a little kid say stop?
Yeah. There's a little kid in the background.
Oh,
I never
good.
thought to stop before, though.
Go away.
Great environment for that kid.
Yeah.
You hear that? All you people there, you just hit me in the face. I cooked in dinner an hour ago and you refused to eat it.
What the fuck game is this?
Fortnite.
Take a lesson, kids out there watching.
I don't care.
Wrap it up.
I'll be out soon. Go away. I will be out soon.
So this is about as far as I've seen before,
I
where
will say sorry. but
she
I
wants to end his stream,
will say sorry. Go.
and he
Go away! Fuck! Leave me alone! Fucking hell, Grace! No, I don't. Fuck off! Just leave me alone for 10 fucking minutes of your life, please! All I ask from you.
This is not a happy relationship.
oh my goodness.
No.
Poor kid.
No, I haven't.
Did he hit her the second time?
Yes.
You hear some kind of slap or punch.
Yeah.
You're pretty confident, Destiny?
And I'll be out.
Oh yeah, he did.
No, I will be out soon. I'll be out soon. Listen, listen. I will
She's
be
pregnant.
out soon.
People know that I'm pregnant. He just bashed me.
Right, Grace. I'll be out soon.
No game.
Like I said,
I will
kids.
be out soon. Fuck off.
Why is he emoting?
That's his wife slapping a moat.
I'll be out.
This
I'm
is
gonna
my-
guess it. I'm gonna guess it was a misclick, but I mean he is Australian. Who knows?
likes to do silly dances when they beat their wives.
I'll be out soon. I'll be out soon. Go away.
Look, why is
Leave
she?
me alone.
Look,
Fuck off, you dog. You don't pay the fucking bills.
Get off the game.
I will.
holy shit!
Wowzers!
God damn! Mr. Deadmoth don't play no shit.
He really wants to play this game.
He has never been about playing no shit. Oh, he's in the blue now. Now he's really gonna get pissed.
Go away.
Oh, if he doesn't have a potion,
Get out of my fucking life.
He just said, "Get out of my effing life."
All you have to do with these fucking
It's possible. I think they might already be broken up and she's over as well. I should have looked this up, but that's possible too.
he got 8. Oh, now he sees he's placed 8. Now it's all bets are off.
Clearly, the strategy for her was to let him win.
Right?
This is a little harder to watch than I anticipated. There's
This is way worse than I thought it was going
There's
to be.
about 30
Yeah,
seconds
I
left.
agree completely. This guy sucks at Fortnite. I'm having a hard time. Build, you fucking Fruit Loop. I'm better than this. There you go. All right, now get a ramp. There you go.
Oh, that just ended, I think? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the end of it.
This is blatant domestic violence.
So when I only saw a minute, what I would, even at 5 minutes, look, there's no defending this guy, right? This guy, he had too much, the power imbalance, right? With regards to like what
we
would
didn't
happen
see
in
her,
violence.
Woody. For all we know, we know she's that Australian 6'3" handball player that's dominating the women's game right now. What if that was great? What if she came in the screen and she was 3 times bigger than him?
That would be funny.
That would be
You wouldn't have a problem then.
He'd be, yeah. You know what? If he was from the religion of Islam, I would be respecting his culture. Maybe as an Australian, we should respect their wife-beating culture. Huh?
I mean, to be fair, Christians beat the shit out of their wives pretty often in early America too. That was a Puritan thing. That's where the rule of thumb shit comes from, right? Can't beat your wife with anything.
Destiny, you make
Bigger
a
than-
powerful argument. That chick was wrong.
The Boondock Saints taught me that.
They got like they try in revisionist history. The real law was you can't use anything smaller than your thumb, otherwise the woman won't learn. I use that in my everyday life. I'm very much like that. I've actually recently joined the Proud Boys, and what I do now is I dress up and I do this for our country. I go into women's restrooms, and I don't care if I have to kick in every stall and feel their genitals myself. I will protect young girls from trans women in our bathrooms. And I do this on weekends and after
Holidays.
I've done this. I've done this hundreds of
This is one of the most. This is we're getting way off topic.
Yes.
Oh,
This is one of the most bizarre conservative arguments I'd ever heard in my entire life. That we don't want these types of trans people going into our women's bathrooms and raping our daughters. Well, if that's what you really think, that's what you think, why would you send them into the males' bathrooms to rape the little boys? Like, I don't want my son getting raped by supposedly these like rampant trans
boys
rapists
like
that have never happened in all of human history, but I guess somehow exist.
You
We need
forget
to arm
people making the
teachers.
arguments are Christians and they're used to the man rape. Okay.
Oh,
The
maybe.
Catholic-
Oh, yeah, because it's
the
okay.
Catholic Church has really softened that blow, so they're okay with that. But leave the girls alone.
Strong
They're
points
supple.
on all sides. Ah, man, this guy. I
Yeah,
just.
this guy, he seems like a real piece of shit. Like, she definitely wasn't trying to de-escalate. Neither one of them were trying to de-escalate. Like, they kept both ratcheting it up. But I feel like as the man, you're stronger. You have a duty to stop first. Like,
Yeah,
it sucks. Oh, you're getting cardboard thrown at you. That really sucks. But, you know, the sexes are
Is there a
different.
lock
and
on that door?
and swinging.
I feel like you just lock that fucking door, right, and turn your volume up.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, what if he just gently bear hugged her, walked out the door while she headbutted him, and then locked it?
Ladies bite.
Yeah.
Bear hug
been-
from behind.
You ever been bitten, like legitimately bitten by an adult who wanted to hurt you?
No.
I don't think so.
The jaw has a lot of power. Yeah.
Every weekend, like that's what they always go to. You think you got them where you want them, and
Nobody tries that shit with Taylor.
You were fighting every
Do you realize
weekend?
what you're messing with? He's an American crocodile.
Well,
I'll bite anyone.
Yeah.
Bite,
Don't.
I'll bite your ear off. Mike Tyson, that bite was bitch made. I would have taken the clear and then gone back for seconds.
We are so off this beating thing. Nobody was de-escalating. I look, he was wrong. He was wrong. He was more wrong, etc. The only thing is, I just want to like throw out there's like an 85-15 blame here.
yeah, she seemed like a real annoying lady, eh?
Destiny, thoughts?
I'm waiting for you guys to get out because I'm coming in with a real nuclear take. All right.
Okay.
I'll go afterward. You go, man.
Okay, I agree, Woody. I think it was an 85-15, but I would place the 85 on the woman without even a second thought.
Really?
Maybe more. So there are certain issues. So obviously, I'm very progressive, very left leaning. There are certain issues that I don't talk about much on stream anymore because I figure it's common sense and I don't want to. Are you familiar with the term MRA, men's rights activist?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so these are groups of people that I largely consider to be generally toxic, generally like super fucking anti-women, blah, 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 just in the way that I see them. But I do think that there are some legitimate points that they bring up. I tend not to talk about those legitimate points because I feel like these things are really common sense. One of those legitimate points is spousal abuse, that people take abuse from men very fucking seriously. And abuse from women is always laughed off. It's actually like a hilarious thing, right? You know, and you've got countless examples of this. You can watch 100 videos of people running these trials where a guy is in a park hitting a girl and like 19 out of 20 or 20 out of 20 people will stop and be like, hey, this is fucked up. You need to stop. But when the roles are reversed, maybe one person stops to stop the girl from hitting the guy. And then most people are like, oh, well, you know, the guy probably did something to deserve it. LOL. But if you were to flip that and say, well, the girl probably did something to deserve getting hit by the guy, fucking people would crucify you.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
And you even saw like on The View where like they made that joke. Remember that guy whose testicles or was it dick got ripped off by his wife and thrown in the garbage dispenser? Yeah, and it was like a big funny joke. And I mean, that's kind of funny, sure.
Bobbitt, maybe?
Yeah, Lorraine.
Maybe, I
Bobbitt.
don't remember. Yeah, but like if a guy were to rip his wife's tits off and throw them in the fucking thing, like holy shit, and a group of guys were laughing at that, like yeah, you'd get a ton of hate.
Yeah, I've never hit a girl, but I've been hit by girls.
Yeah, sure. So my problem here is that like the situation is you have a wife that is screaming initially, which is okay. I mean, you shouldn't scream, it's mean or whatever, but that's fine. But then as soon as she starts throwing things, she's escalated it to like physical violence. Like that's past assault. You're at battery at this point. You're literally fucking throwing things at somebody. If you role swap there and you've got a girl that's on a computer trying to spend her time and a guy or a husband is throwing things at her, everybody would be screaming domestic abuse. But because it's just a girl, you know, we kind of laugh it off. It's whatever. And she does this and she continues to aggravate over and over and over and over again. And then it gets to the point to where the guy gets up and slaps her. I mean, he probably shouldn't. It's probably not a good thing to do it. I don't know. Aside from leaving the house and calling the cops, though, I mean, there's not much else it seems he can do aside from sit there and take it. Yeah. And then he backs off. And then after slapping her, he backs off and he sits down and he puts his headphones on. And then she comes right back and does it again. And, you know, people say, even Woody said, you know, there was no attempt to de-escalate. But that's not true. We can watch the video again. That guy screams, stop it, 1,000,000 times. And when we watch a guy doing it, it's very funny. You know, like, oh, my God, the guy's like, stop, fuck off. Oh. You know, it's like, OK, that's hilarious. But if it was a woman screaming that, all of us would be livid. If a woman is sitting there screaming, stop, and a guy's just hurling things at her fucking head, everybody would be like, dude, this guy is a huge piece of shit. It's super fucking abusive. But because it's a woman doing it, you know, it's kind of funny or whatever.
But
And
yeah,
just
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, go
now
ahead.
good time. So the difference is the power between the two of them, right? He's a big, strong guy compared to her. We assume we didn't see her.
Yeah,
If the guy was
to be
throwing,
fair, Woody, we are assuming here
we are
because we literally didn't see her.
But if he was throwing small stuffed animals at her and crumpled up pieces of paper and things that were harmless to her, maybe they would view her through the same light that we're viewing her against him.
To be fair, though, we see one thing that gets hurled, which is an unconstructed cardboard box. Which I mean, like, you know, memes aside, like that can hurt. If I don't know if you've ever fucked around with a cardboard box before that are like right, maybe. I mean, somebody hurls something like that at your face. Cardboard can cut you pretty easily. Like it's pretty thick. It's the cardboard boxes. Like they're not just smacking you with
could
the
have been blinded.
But that's also the only thing we see. Like she's also throwing things, and it looks like she's trying to hit him as well, right? When he looks to the side and he looks up and he's raising his hands, he could be blocking a thrown object, but she could also be trying to hit him. It also looks like she's trying to break his shit. Like it seems like she's like grabbing things and the desk is shaking.
I interpret it as turning off his stuff, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, that's one way to interpret it. But I mean, she's also
Unplugging.
throwing shit and like breaking shit, or it sounds like there's stuff falling over in the background. Like if a guy was doing this to a woman, I think that most people would without even questioning it, would side with the woman here. They would say that the guy is constantly breaking her shit, and she did what all she could do is she lashed out and she slapped him back, and that's it. And like people are trying to say like the guy like beat the shit out of her or whatever. I mean, looking at the video, the guy seems like a decently large guy. I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he probably could have absolutely beat the shit out of her. He could have punched her. He could have, yeah, you know. But I mean, like, it sounds like he slapped her, which isn't good. But as soon as he did that, he backed off. He continued to say, stop. She kept coming back. She kept throwing things. She kept re-escalating it to physical violence. Like, aside from literally leaving the house and calling the cops, or staying in the house because he doesn't want all of his shit broken and continuing to be abused, it doesn't seem like the guy had very many alternatives. And it really bothers me how much people like write off, you know, how much men are just supposed to kind of like take abuse or whatever because it's a woman, and that, you know, he's totally 100% in the wrong for, you know, slapping back when she's sitting there hurling things at him. and threatening to break his shit for like 4 minutes when
You're
he's
totally
begging
right
her to
about
stop.
Even the cardboard thing. Like if it like if it was a woman sitting there and a guy was throwing cardboard and even small things, like that would be a to-do.
Mm-hmm.
Like BuzzFeed or someone would pick that up, but streamer abused by boyfriend, like that would be a thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
everyone
the
would
evidence
take-
for this is
Yeah.
the guy slapped her one time, and people say that he beat the shit out of her. That's a big guy. If he
Maybe
wanted to
twice.
fucking kill her, like, he could have, like, very easily, or done some real harm. For the record, the police showed up and arrested the guy, and he was charged with, I don't know what the specific crime is in Australia, but what he was charged with was a no-injury crime. The woman had 0 injuries. And even in the police report, it doesn't say, like, she didn't have a black eye or any bruises or whatever. Maybe her cheeks were red from getting slapped, but that wasn't in the police report at all. And I feel like in a case like this, if she would have been bruised or had anything obviously broken, that definitely would have been included in that police report. So he was slapping her to get her to stop, which he had also begged her to do like 30 times in this video. He says over and over again, stop, 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 and she doesn't do it.
One
know.
thing,
It's still hard to
so
just
there's
get
two
over like
things
the visceral reaction to like a man slapping a woman, you know?
Yeah, and
Like
again, we do
it's
that. Like
an
when a woman starts
ingrained
crying.
thing,
Yeah,
you know?
when a woman cries, it sounds really bad. But when a guy cries, we make fun of him. We call him a fag or whatever. Like that's what we do, and it's like that's pretty fucked up, you know?
The most powerful thing for me that Destiny said was, we almost all agreed there was no attempt to de-escalate there, and he's like, but there was. He made dozens of attempts to de-escalate, and it's like, yeah, he really did, and I just ignored them all because he's the dude.
Yeah. He's a
The
guy.
yeah, that's true.
But imagine how comfortable watching a girl there being like, stop, 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 and he continues to throw shit at her. Like, holy fuck, that would make you really fucking uncomfortable if that was the case.
And when you talk about attempt to injure, right? Because we've been doing this thing, like, he has more power here. She's taking advantage of his chief vulnerability very much on purpose, which is the fact that he's streaming, right? She's doing this. I don't think she'd do it if he wasn't streaming. If he was sitting at the kitchen table drinking coffee, she wouldn't be doing all this. She's putting on a show in an attempt to cause some kind of non-physical injury to him, and it worked, right? After she repeatedly goads her, after she repeatedly goads him and gets a hit out of him, then she wants to go on stream and tell everybody that he's a wife beater, and she does. And she does it more than once. She makes an attempt to like appeal to his audience.
Yeah, and people got mad at me because I said they were crocodile tears, and a lot of people were saying things like, well, no, sometimes people can still cry and fight, and it's like, yeah, I agree with that, but when somebody starts crying and then they come back and like, oh, well, do you tell everybody that you beat your wife? Do you tell everybody that they know that he's a wife beater? And then come back and you're still fighting. It's like, okay, dude, like she's very clearly
You could
fucking
tell-
gunning, like she's trying to
tell-
fucking aggravate him.
You could tell how she was crying. Like whenever he would slap her, she would scream like he'd shot her in the kneecap and like sob for maybe 5 seconds. And then she'd be completely composed while she tried to throw him under the bus.
Yeah, and again, to be super ultra clear, some people will scream like that when you hit them, but when you do that, and within 10 seconds, and you can watch it happen 3 times in this video, within 10 seconds after that cry, she's back and she's fighting again. It's like, okay, well, like, fuck, like...
When you're in the position of power, right, and it's not just being the guy in a relationship, it can also be a parent or whatever.
Sure.
It is also your responsibility not to take the bait sometimes. Your kid might say something that could turn it into a bigger thing.
I agree
you need
with
to
that.
de-escalate. You need to not take that bait.
Well, there's 2 things. One, I agree with you, but I would be careful because everybody frames it this way, and I think that it is indicative of an underlying mindset. The fact that your first go-to there was you need to de-escalate, think of a parent and child, makes it sound like the man always has to be the parent in the relationship, and that a woman has a right to act like a petulant child and be physically abusive and engage in domestic abuse, which she was doing, and it's on the man to de-escalate there. And the reason why, even though the man slapped her, the reason why I have a hard time, the reason why I have a hard time going on the guy here is because the woman instigated everything. Much the same way where, like, let's say that a woman was at a party and, some guy was coming on to her way too fucking much, and the guy, like, she was feeling very uncomfortable. She goes to the next room, the guy follows her and, like, grabs her boob, and she freaks out and, like, fucking punches him as hard as he can and, like, breaks his fucking nose or some shit. A lot of people might say that's a disproportionate response. Like, okay, well, maybe, but the guy instigated all of this. Like, it was going to go to physical violence. If you're a guy and you're grabbing a woman, you're either, that's going to get physical. You've already made it physical. So, like, if the woman is sitting there hurling shit at him over and over again, you've already made it physical. Like, at that point, like, what options does the guy have? And if we start to list them all out, I think we're going to agree slapping is at the very fucking bottom of that list of physical violence that he can act against that woman. Trying to restrain her is going to get way worse. Could be more damaging to the baby. Punching her is obviously way worse. Throwing shit back at her, I think people would view even worse, even though that's what she's doing,
So I can see where you got that parent-child analogy out of what I said, but it's not what I was going for. It's not what was in my heart. There are
Sure.
areas where one person is more competent than the other, even in a relationship filled with equals. And one of those is going to be physical violence, right? The guy is just going to be better at that 9 times out of 10, maybe more. So
Yeah,
he
I agree.
needs to restrain a bit. You know, like, there were times.
but my
so wait,
argument was
there's more.
he did.
You
Yeah,
went
go
on
ahead,
for
go ahead,
paragraphs, my friend. And when we had little kids, right? Picture them less than 1 year old. My wife was at home watching them. I would come home after work and watch the kid and be comparatively incompetent. So I screw up. I can't get her to stop crying. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm walking up and down the stairs with the baby or something. She's got to be chill about that. You know, like, let me learn the way that she gets to do all the time. And there's a relationship imbalance in her favor. Not the best example of raising kids, but I guess what I'm saying is he needs to be conscious of the power imbalance when it comes to fighting.
Yeah, and I understand that. I guess my argument is that I feel like he was. Like, what different, aside from the best course of action here is probably leaving and calling the police.
Yeah.
But aside from that, what would have illustrated restraint on his part? Because I thought slapping her was about as, like, again, and all the physical things he could do. That's like at the bottom of the list. Like, what else could he have done?
I'd have
There's
locked
really,
the
there's
door.
really
He didn't
nothing.
use his words,
Let's
really.
let Kyle jump in.
I'd have locked the door. I feel like you just got to lock her out, and then once you've got her locked out of the room, you can get the stream involved with laughing at how crazy she is. Then I feel like that would be my point of view. I'd get the camera pointed at the door as she, like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, hacks her way in, like
With the kid. Yeah.
That would be great. It's not
swinging
easy
the
to be
kid-
that best
swinging
version
the
of
kid
you.
through the door.
He was obviously out of his mind, right, when he decided to hit her. He wasn't thinking it through. But if he was thinking it through, he could have also been like, hey, look at yourself. Look at where we are. You know, look at how you're yelling at me. And maybe that would have been the de-escalation that worked so much better than just no, stop it. I'll be out in a minute.
I don't think that works when you're in these types of scenarios. If somebody is like decided that they're going to enact a level of violence against you, the guy was already saying stop. Like, if she's willing to take it to a physical point, I don't know, just saying like, hey, look at yourself, because she obviously doesn't think she's in the wrong. Hey, look at yourself, just stop. I don't think that she'd be like, you know what? I'm being very unreasonable right now. You're right. I'll leave and come back later. Like,
It
I think we
would've
were
worked with the
way
stream
past that
anyway.
point.
No, this is
Yeah.
why you don't stick your dick in crazy.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least twice, apparently.
She was pregnant
Yeah,
too.
like, I do like Steven's point of like the escalation with it. The same way that like with the Me Too shit, that Louis C.K. gets conflated with Weinstein, whatever. Where when what they did was totally different. Where people will look at this and immediately the phrase will be beat the shit out of her. Is the thing. Like, it's not a slap, it's not a hit, or even a punch. Chiz is saying he thinks it was a punch, not a slap. I don't know. But you do poison the well when, you know, all of the videos are already titled beats the shit out of.
And
you
all
know?
she was doing was being annoying. That's it.
Tyler,
So like,
domestic
woman is being
abuse-
annoying, guy beats the shit out of her. So what did she just like say, please come down to dinner? And he just ran over and started fucking, like, you know, UFCing her, or like
Apparently. Yeah.
Well,
just started-
I guess. But like, you know,
Hammer
Domestic
fist
abuse
that
victim defends
bitch.
if a
himself.
declawed, deep-toothed kitten is coming at you with everything it has, it's being annoying.
An adult woman is, you know, not like, I know your point is, like, an adult woman is not a kitten with no claws and no teeth. Like, they can cause harm.
You'll be fine.
yeah. I don't think so. I mean, having things thrown at your face in your own house, and women can break the fuck out of shit too. I think it's pretty easy to do damage to somebody unless somebody has like some highly level specific of training, like picking up an object to hit somebody with or throwing something at somebody. I think it's pretty easy to hurt somebody,
Yeah.
even if they've got a huge weight differdifferential.
She picks up
don't
a
know.
golf club or something. Yeah,
Ribbon's
for
I
sure.
love my wife and daughter, but I could beat the fuck out of them. I might have a second UFC belt made. Just as the, you know, Deer Creek Trail champion of the world.
That's what we do on this show. When we all feel bitchy, we circle jerk about how we can all beat up Woody's family. You know, I can take that Jackie chick, no problem. One hand behind my back. Throw Hope in the mix too. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting video. It was more intense than I thought it would be, but also it's not as intense as it is being projected online. Like,
He
being
should have
discussed.
turned the fucking stream off. I think we can all agree on that. He should have
Yeah,
fucking
what
clicked.
the fuck was he thinking?
I think that like he's literally like, I think he streamed to like 6 people, so he probably didn't even fucking consider it. He's just like, whatever. I mean, he's probably done like, there's a lot of like really small streamers where clips get posted every now and then where they're doing things. It's like, why the fuck are you streaming? But I think maybe if you're a smaller streamer, you just like, you don't even think about it. I
Is
don't
he
know, that's my
banned from
guess.
Twitch?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say because he's kind of famous now.
Yeah, he is.
Let's get him on here. Let's talk to him about it. That'd be great.
Dude,
what kind of-
Jizz, book it.
Tell us what kind of technique you use against a woman who's. How funny would it be if while we have him on the show, his wife attacks him again, and we're like, "Come on, dude, uppercut,
Dude,
uppercut!"
no, I like the way you're thinking.
Got a GoPro
We'll have
on.
Jackie deliver a bowl of chili, and I'll just show her what I got.
Oh yeah, work the body. You want to work the body?
Chili,
Liver punch,
woman.
liver punch.
If I told you once,
Now
I
we go
told you.
upstairs. Oh,
But seriously,
yeah.
cheers. Let's book Mr. Deadmau5. I'm sure we won't. I'm sure we won't get a huge amount of pushback.
I'm sure he's happy to be online. He doesn't want to end this whole part of his career.
Well, apparently he already lost his job and everything, so that dude's probably
What?
been fucked for a while.
That sucks. Everything about this sucks. I
Yeah.
bet he wishes he could do a do-over.
That hurts
Yeah, of
the
course.
kids even more. Actually, like taking the guy's job away, like that's bad for those kids. That's worse than well, not worse than the screaming and fighting that they see their parents doing every day. But yeah, I always think about that. Like when someone with a family loses their job for being dumb online, it's like, oh, you're not just punishing them. You're kind of punishing an entire family of people, like a whole network of people.
Yeah.
It's really shitty.
Yeah, but I mean, the companies are just trying to save themselves, right? They don't give
Oh,
a fuck.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't want to
they-
be the company that has the wife beater, the world famous wife beater, like working your front desk or whatever.
Here at Applebee's, we stand with Mr. Deadmau5.
Yeah, that's not a statement any company is.
Fucking Sydney location and get any tizers from him next Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think he's like, I don't know, working at some warehouse with poor lighting and dirty floors, and they're like, he's not even the worst guy here. We're not firing him.
We thought he was pretty measured.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny over there just got out of prison.
Yeah.
It-
Pretty much when you're live streaming, anything that gets shown, if you've got over 100 viewers, whatever is shown for even half a millisecond is on the internet forever. So,
Or if it's good enough, 6 viewers apparently with Mr. Deadmau5.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
He went. That was. I'm gonna
Well,
show
that was less of a on the screen for half a second and more like the 10th
Yeah.
round in a boxing match. I mean, that was there
Okay,
for quite
okay.
a while.
Yeah, no, I
He had like
didn't-
a second of excitement when he came back to the computer. Like the final time was like, oh, some new viewers.
Whoa,
Hey
Wow.
guys, if you're just joining the chat, sorry, I'm 8th place in this Fortnite round, and I'm 2nd place currently in my real life boxing match. But
welcome to my channel, Wife Smasher. What was his wife's name? Amanda or something like Samantha, whatever her name was. I want to see her. To me, it's important to judge that clip. I don't want to rehash like
Yeah.
our very first topic or whatever. But I feel like if I saw her, sized her up a little, knew her dimensions, if you will, then that would sway my opinion one way or another. Because I feel like if she's a little bitty girl, like if she's a 95 pounder, then I'm less on his side. But if she's a big old gal, then
I mean, she's also pregnant, so that's like a whole part of her body that you can't even. She's like
Ooh,
Hamas,
that's
right? You
part-
like
you know
using the
what?
school children to shield their fucking military installations. Like you already can't even like
I hadn't-
attack half the body.
she's got a human shield.
I hadn't processed this angle of it before, but we all agreed she was being pretty unreasonable, right?
Yeah.
That's hormones.
Oh no! Don't do it, Woody.
What? This is like a thing. This is a
But
defense I'm offering, not an
You can
accusation.
never. No. You can never go to a woman and say you're being unreasonable right now. You're on your period. So a woman can't come and start beating on me and say like, oh well, I'm on my period or I'm pregnant, so that's why I'm doing it. I don't think that's a good excuse to abuse someone.
If your wife is pregnant, then you just got to deal with some shit for a little bit.
Hey, let me spin that one around. If your husband is drunk, then hey, you just gotta deal with a little shit. He might get a little slappy. He might be a little angry if his dinner is cold. And it
But
might
what if
get
it-
physical.
What if your husband? What? Maybe he's roiding up a little bit. Maybe he wants to make some quick gains to the gym. Comes home, he's a little roided out, a little upset. Maybe he just needs to fucking wail on
No,
someone for a little
there's
bit.
a parallel
Did we
destiny.
hear
The
what
one
the
that I'll be
dinner
employing as soon as I get on TRT.